And we're back with another live reaction right after Milan Torino. I'm flying solo this week. Ozzy couldn't quite make it, but as always, salute to the best looking Swedish man of AC Milan zone. Milan beat Torino 3-2 in a game that was maybe too exciting. We could have put it away a little bit easier. I found this to be the perfect encapsulation of the Milan season. We start off slow, so slow. Throw away, maybe you can argue the whole first half, but definitely the first 15, 20 minutes, where Torino are pushing. We fall back, defend, and concede a few chances. This was the same in the reverse fixture, except in the reverse fixture, they punished us twice, and we had to rely on a Rabiot worldy and Pulisic fever game to pull us out. This time, they're not able to convert those early chances, which means we stayed in the game. An incredible goal by Strahinja Pavlovic. I mean, outrageous world-class Puskas Award nominee by Pavlovic, who puts it down, one touch, lets it bounce, and then just a rocket that grazes the underside of the crossbar and goes in. Then we concede from a silly situation, despite a good Magnan save. And then, just like every game this season, we start strong, much stronger in the second half, where we look like we're pushing. Some interesting substitutions were made. I saw a lot of people on Twitter say, "Ooh, we look so much better with a 4-3-3." The formation stayed exactly the same. Bartesaghi went and did the braccetto roll that Pavlovic did when Tomori was subbed because he was on the yellow card. But we always have this, five at the back, but 4-3-3 on the ball. It didn't change that much. I did think that the Kame was looking good. I always like when we get to the chance to see Alexis Saremakers on the other side. He cuts back a lot more, cuts inside a lot more, and just creates some interesting situations. He found himself well also with Pulisic a little bit. And we pushed and we found two lovely goals. First one was really created by Modric, who gets the hockey assist, the assist to the assist. Finds a beautiful ball for Pulisic, who then squares it in for the Rabiot tap in. Rabiot once again scores against Torino, 2 out of 2 this season. And then Fofana, who gets a nice ball in, kind of turns around and realizes, hold on, wait a minute, no one is actually defending me. And just fires a shot on target from close up and finds a goal. Very well deserved. If you guys are followers of AC Milan Zone, you know that I'm a Fofana defender through and through. The game seems to be put to bed. We saw Santi Jimenez make his return, looking slimmer. I don't know if that's good or bad. We will see. He didn't have too much of an impact on the game. Touched the ball a few times, but still made a return. Let's see if he can perhaps save his Milan career in this last few games of the season before the transfer window comes and maybe sees him out the door. We will see. Games seem to be definitely decided, and we were just gonna coast to a victory. And then we concede a VAR penalty, which to me was so silly. I think if you see it in live motion, there's not much. It is silly from Pavlovic to sort of extend his arm and make contact. To me, that ball, he was never getting to that ball. The contact is so light. Simeone lets himself fall and then stays on the ground to trigger the VAR call. I would like those penalties to be eradicated from football, and I'm not saying that because it just happens against us. It seemed very silly, but referee gets called to the monitor, which means 90% chance he's changing his mind, unfortunately, 95. Slow-mo replay, of course, doesn't help Pavlovic's case, and again, Pavlovic could have been smarter, absolutely in the situation. But they convert the penalty, make us wet for a little bit. But this is a Torino team that was not putting up a giant fight. The big fight that they tried was in the first 15, 20 minutes. After that, they were seemingly pretty happy to not roll over. That seems a little bit excessive, but definitely happy to yeah, not put up too much of a fight. It was a very scrappy extra time where we got close to the goal. A lot of free kicks. There's a moment where we spent, I think, the first 2.5 minutes of the five that were added at the end, just foul baiting, just at the edge of the box there. Free kick. We play. We get free kick again, just 3 or 4 times, enough to kill time, I suppose. Um, Man of the match, I think Fofana had a good game. Of course, he scores. I thought Modric, as always, I think again catalyst, major catalyst to the second goal. Apologies. Hard not to give a shout out to Pavlovic, who obviously triggers a penalty, so that is going to remove some points from his total score at the end of the game. But scores an absolute banger of a goal. What a season he's been having. A lot of people said, okay, if he can be a decent defender, three at the back defender, we will take it. He's been decent to very good at times. Uh, and has added his ability to go forward. We've seen it a lot of times this seasons with chances he's created, with goals he scored, with assists he's provided. And this one is just might just be the very best goal of his career. He got close earlier this season to a free kick in a Coppa Italia, which was wild. But this absolute banger definitely tops his career. And very good to see, of course, always. So he probably gets a shout. Beyond that, I mean, you could argue Rabiot comes back. It's so clear we're a different team when Adrian Rabiot is on, both defensively and offensively. The goal is obviously a cherry on top, right place, right time, attacks the space well. The tap in is just a tap in. But he's so key to us. Him and Modric are, number one and number two names on the team sheet. And the rest, you write those two names, the rest, it doesn't really matter. You feel like our success chances really go through the two of them. Beyond that, I mean, Pulisic gets an assist. First half was pretty quiet. Second half got a little bit better, I thought. Got a little bit more involved. The assist, again, was good movement and a great ball by Modric. A little bit more. Still, this is a Christian Pulisic that you can argue he overperformed in the first half of the season. But this is not his normal level. This is way below. Something good to point out was the Fofana celebration on the last goal. Obviously, he did his own little celebration, and then he had a moment where him and Rabiot did the surfer celebration for Rafael, who was watching from the stands, and combined it with the Eye of the Tiger, Christian Pulisic celebration, and Ned mimed a few of this. A lot of talking, of course, since the big moment against Lazio, when Leao was unhappy with Pulisic and his lack of service, and then was unhappy with being substituted. There was some words with Allegri, some words on the bench, and then reportedly some more words in the locker room that didn't go so well. Of course, we have to see a lot of journalistic drama around that. A lot of people saying, they've made peace, it's all over. A lot of people saying, hey, Leao's been playing with pubalgia on one leg because he cares about the club. All of a sudden, he feels less protected by the club and by the manager, and he sits out for the pubalgia. Of course, we will never know the exact details of what happens in the locker room and behind the scenes. But nevertheless, I saw this as a positive message, them combining the two celebrations and saying, look, this is just what happens on the pitch. And a lot of people do a lot of talking, but we're still a team here. I saw Pulisic give it a little bit of a laugh, so I don't think he was maybe too planned with him. But still a good message from Fofana, who, had some rough quotes, also some rough journalistic moments during this week regarding his role. But I think he remains one of the most underrated players in this squad, and definitely not the leading name on different problems that we might or might not have. If Fofana is our biggest problem, then we're doing quite well, and I still think that. Fulkrug, who got his chance to start, offered almost nothing. He had a couple times some good, putting the ball down on a long pass, defending against the defender, using his body, and some good layoffs. But a little too little from him. Not that the surface was incredible. This is always the case with Milan strikers, but I would have liked to see a little more. Same with Nkunku. Again, limited minutes at the end of the game. That's we're defending. I know it's tough, but sometimes I hear people saying Nkunku should play more. In order to play more, you need to maximize your chances and make the most of the minutes that you do have. And so many times I've seen him come in the last few minutes of a game. Sometimes not even that few of a minutes. He can get his 15, 20, which is a lot. You can have an impact on a game like that and not make the most of it. So to me, this is an experiment that continues to fail. And yeah, there's no chance I see him ahead of Leao and Pulisic, even when the two are not physically fit or not in form. I saw Ricci coming well a lot. This is something I've been saying for a long time. He's not quite ready to be a starter. That doesn't mean that he won't be next year. But this year, his role is to bring that energy and those good moments for 30 minutes, 20 minutes off the bench. He did it again today, got close to goal a couple times. He looks good in that position, and he should definitely be our power sub. No Jashari, no surprise. Of course, Modric plays the 90 minutes as Allegri likes to let him do. Beyond that, as I said, Santi came back. Looked slimmer. Let's hope. I still believe in him somewhat. I wouldn't say I would lay my life down for him, but let's see. I think arguably his Milan career really goes through the next couple months. If he can just show that he's alive, create some goals, get on the score sheet, he still has not a Serie A goal, as I'm sure he's reminded of quite often. Then perhaps there is a place for him next year. As a starter, who knows? If Allegri and Tare have their way, I'm guessing there's a starter caliber striker that's being brought on. But as a sub, as a true number 9, I think there's a spot for there, especially as we will likely and hopefully have multiple competition, hopefully have Champions League. You need, even if you're a second striker and a sub striker, you're going to have a lot of chances in Europe, but also in Italy. So let's see if he can get a couple goals, or he would need a couple goals and a couple good games combined, at least to leave a better taste in the mouth of Milan fans and Milan management. But we'll see. In the chat, that wasn't a penalty. Agreed, totally wasn't. To me, it's one of those that once they slow down in the VAR room, it looks obvious. And again, Strahinja Pavlovic is definitely silly to stick out his arms and grab it. And again, I'm not saying only because I'm wearing this jersey, but those are the penalties that I would love to just see completely deleted. Deleted from football, just minimal contact. The ball is going nowhere near him. He just, feels it, goes down, holds his face, which I hate, and stays down enough just to trigger the VAR review. But that is modern football and how it works at the moment. Beyond that, I don't know anyone. De Winter had another good game, but not too busy. Of course, we could see 2 goals, so obviously we could have done something a little bit better at home, but I thought it was good. Tomori only got to play 45 minutes. I think perhaps Allegri being a little too cautious, although I think if you ask any Milan fan, after you saw Tomori getting a yellow card 8 minutes into the game, knowing that there's no true center backs ready to come in, you're like, I think we're seeing a red card here at some point. So I can't really blame Allegri for, exceeding with his caution and taking him out. The first move was, of course, to put Bartesagli at the center back position, De Braccetto, who I thought played very well even there, had a good chance to score as well. The kid just continues to be dynamite. Very surprised he didn't get called up by Gattuso, but obviously a busy position on that side for him, and he'll get plenty of chances because he's here to stay. And then we actually saw Dogu get for the second time some minutes. He looked okay, although it's tough to judge because we were just defending a little bit heavier there. Other subs at the Kame came in, and I thought he actually continued to show that he's playable, which we weren't so sure the first few times he came on this season. But yeah, growing confidence again, not in a four at the back, but as that fifth in a three at the back. That wing back role is perfect for him. Still a lot of room for growth for him, of course. Not a perfect player, but a playable player, which we desperately need. Our squad is way too short, and I thought it was quite good. And that's been really about it. That's the story of the game. Key game for us as we claim once again the second place before the direct matchup against Napoli coming up soon. We will see how that goes. And hopefully we see some interesting results from the battle of Como, Roma, Juve, which, in my mind, we should be pretty safe for our Champions League spot, but we're not mathematically. So I would be very happy and very relaxed, as Max Allegri likes to remind us in his press conferences, when we're mathematically back in Champions League where we belong, secure that bag, tackle the transfer market, and bring in some interesting players. Now let's be Napoli next. Absolutely, this will be an interesting game. It's definitely, they're on the rise. Some lucky results early on. Now some more positive Conte performances. So I would say they're favorites. Our form hasn't been stellar and some mental problems. Obviously, there's a ton of time. There's the international break. A lot of players going in. There's going to be some big results for big teams. We need to see if we can get Gabbia back. We need to see what happens with Leao, who picks up some more injuries during the international break. So, lots to see. But I think we will leave it here for now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you're watching, of course, drop a like and subscribe for more Blanco podcast and live reactions. And, as always, Forza Milan.